ordinance on voluntary labor working on village grounds can be done. But we have to work on an ordinance. Yes, just keep that in our plan.
Okay, when we have, okay. We have a meeting.
I think that's what my calendar says. Beautification at 6 p.m. on the 19th.
I don't have a whole lot.
26th is a different meeting.
All right,
Tomorrow,
we'll go ahead and call the order. Sorry, Lori, we're 1 minute behind.
I noticed, thank you.
Get everybody stand, pledge for the allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, roll call. Megan Clark.
Present.
Bob Cook. Here. Stephen Kaufman.
Here.
Holly Marinette.
Here.
Gary Meehan. Here.
Here.
Joyce Misnick.
Here.
Sorry, I didn't have to tell you.
Okay, any additions or corrections to the agenda? Hearing none. Review and approval of minutes of previous meeting, February 3rd, 2026.
I move that we approve the minutes for the work session of February 3rd and the meeting of February 3rd, 2026.
I'll second and thank you, new clerk. You did a nice job.
Appreciate it. Okay. Roll call on that. Megan Clark.
Yes.
Bob Cook.
Yes?
Stephen Kaufman.
Yes.
Holly Marinette.
Yes.
Gary Meehan.
Yes.
Joyce Misnick.
Yes.
Okay, visitor comments. Okay. Administrative staff reports, mayor's report. Little lengthy, but I apologize, so we'll go ahead and get through this. Administrative reporting and governance expectations. Effective immediately, the administrative report will be concise and limited to major operational updates, key project milestones, and items requiring council action. Routine day-to-day matters will be handled internally unless council input is necessary. This will improve efficiency and keep meetings focused on legislative responsibilities. Council's role is legislative, to pass ordinances and approve budgets. Daily operations remain the responsibility of the mayor, administrator, and department heads. Council members shall not directly contact village employees for operational information or direction. Any requests must go through the mayor and administrator. All employees will continue to follow their established chain of command. These expectations protect efficiency, accountability, staff morale, and clear lines of authority while maintaining a transparency through proper administrative channels. Council interaction with solicitor. The village solicitor represents the municipality as a whole, not individual council members. Requests for legal opinions or research beyond routine meeting clarification must be authorized by a majority of council or directed through the mayor or administrator. Individual members shall not independently assign or direct legal work. This ensures proper use of public funds, protects attorney-client privilege, and maintains clear, consistent legal guidance. Effective Public Works Committee meeting schedule adjustment. Effective in the second quarter of 2026, the Public Works Committee will meet quarterly rather than monthly. Major infrastructure projects operate on multi-month timelines, and staff time must remain focused on project delivery rather than repeated reporting. Quarterly meetings will provide comprehensive updates on project status, budgets, and performance. The committee's role is not day-to-day project management or staff direction. Operational authority remains the mayor, administrator, and public works leadership. All requests for information shall go through the mayor and administrator. Monthly written reports will continue, and special meetings may be called if policy action is required. I just need to correct one thing on here. Instead of monthly, it'll be quarterly reports. Proposal to establish a future revenue committee. Stephen, thank you for bringing this topic up. Due to anticipated reductions in property tax revenue, I propose we, as council and mayor, form a future revenue committee to evaluate long-term sustainable funding strategies. The committee will assess fiscal impacts, identify diversified revenue opportunities, review best practices, and provide recommendations to council within 6 months. Proposed members include the mayor/administrator, a member of council, the fiscal officer, and 2 residents with relevant expertise. The committee will operate transparently and provide regular updates. The committee is to be chaired by the fiscal officer. Our goal is to protect essential services and ensure long-term financial stability for the village. Thank you. Okay, sorry it was long-winded. Treasurer's report.
It should be in your packets, and it is through December 31st.
Anybody have any comments on that?
No, I have one question. When are we gonna get current? Current to me is January.
He said whenever we're gonna get current, as in like January 31st, this is February. I will work on getting that done in the next month or two.
Well, it was rounding out the end of the year, so it took a little
I
bit more
understand.
time to, well, let me finish, please, to finish the year and to close out the year. And the end of January was just 2 weeks ago, so that is very typical to not be complete with January 2 weeks later, especially after ending a year.
It's never happened before, other than one with Silverman's new filing system. When Leanne was there, it was always done at the end of each month.
Okay. Anything else? Anything pop out? Okay. Administrator's report.
Report was submitted in your packet. The only thing that I will note is since doing the report, we have had quite a few phone calls and emails regarding concerns about the point of sale inspections that were currently passed in December. A lot of residents concerned about that program, but besides that, the report stands as stated, pending any questions.
With the administrator's report, Mark and I are going through that, trying to make sure that we get all the pertinent information to council that is needed. One topic that Holly, you brought up about overtime, we're gonna look to add that, kind of like the chief does with his officers, so we get a report of those as well. So Kevin, if you can help work with that, so that Mark can get that information.
And the reason that I was concerned is simply we've changed to the call-in system. So what does that do to our bottom line and to the impact on the employees themselves?
And you want that monthly, correct?
I think that would be sufficient. Okay. Chief, that's what you're doing right now, right? This monthly? Yep. Okay.
As I understand it, according to this, that the traffic camera on Route 6 project is still on hold, but there's people saying on Facebook already that it's on and they're all up in arms about it.
If I can touch on that,
Yeah,
Mr.
please.
Mayor. So as of this report, which was submitted on 2/13, the camera was not energized yet and the signage was not placed on Route 6. Since, I believe it was Monday, the power's been connected to the pole and the signage has been installed on Route 6. I'm gathering the data on when the first day of warnings will be submitted to anyone that passes that at an excessive speed. And from that date, it will be a 30-day warning phase before anybody is ticketed for that speed camera.
I've had several inquiries of what happened to the ballot portion. Does anybody have any information? Can you tell me so I can answer these people?
Bob, are you referring to the petition that was
The
on?
petition was up.
Yeah, so that, Christian might be able to step in. The referendum didn't follow the actual process of being added to the ballot. There were portions that were dropped that didn't get taken care of.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell them that if they want any further information, they have to go to the Board of Elections. But there was a glitch in the paperwork that was filed, it was incomplete.
Yes.
That's all I'm gonna tell them.
Yeah.
Okay, I need an answer because I've been, one person pointed the finger right at me the other day and says, you need to find out, because we asked you to. So I kind of wanted it on record that I did ask.
Paperwork was incorrectly filed. Independent legal counsel who specializes in it reviewed it for the village and advised us that upon returning it and the consideration of what was brought to the village, the Board of Elections was not required to certify the referendum. The referendum then was not placed on the ballot because it was not done in a timely manner, the timing before the election.
It was not complete when they handed it. That's it.
It was found to be invalid and we were allowed to move forward with
Okay.
the program once the election. deadline.
Thank you for what you're doing, but I'm just trying to make sure people don't think that I'm skipping, not, because they were very indignant about it, you know?
Yeah, and just one note for everyone up here, we did receive literature from SiteStream on the program. We'll be sending that out in an independent letter in February into March, just going over the program. And if anybody wants a copy of that brochure, we do have copies here at the hall to pick up if anyone wants one.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you very much.
Solicitors,
No report.
police chief,
Submitted to you and your county.
thank you. Any questions for chief? All right, committee commission reports, finance committee.
Finance committee met today at 5:00 and just discussed training, getting everyone used to our systems and our funds.
Public Works Committee,
The next scheduled Public Works meeting is 3/6/26 at 5 p.m. I'll work with you, Mr. Mayor, on when we're going to discuss on changing that to quarterly.
3/16, you say?
3/6, Bob.
Pardon?
3/6.
Oh, just. Okay, at 5 p.m. Thank you.
planning commission,
Next meeting for planning, 3/25/26 at 7 p.m.
You said 7 p.m.
Correct.
I'd like to make one comment about that. I'd just like to register concern that we have not had a full commission meeting with quorum since November.
yeah, so, Chris Plicker, who was, put onto the planning commission, that he's taking a construction job down in Pittsburgh, so he'll be stepping down from that. Crystal Holcomb, will be, stepping in that role, to help fill that, so that we will have a, full meeting.
Are you not making that nomination now, Mr. Mayor, so we can
Yeah, if we can.
put her in for a term?
Should we do that under new business?
Be ideal.
He just says he's doing it in new business.
Crystal, K-O-I-S-T-O-H-O-L-C-O-N. Records Commission,
Records has not met for 26.
Special Committee Liaison Reports, RRA.
No report. However, there is a meeting this Saturday at 10 a.m. that I hope you all, if you own a boat, and you have any family members who come and play on that boat, I hope you will come and listen and participate in the conversation. Otherwise, they may just take action that suits them at that time. And it's at 10 a.m. right here.
In the village hall. Is that like a boat safety type?
Now it's about, well, essentially, yes, it's about the use of wake boats and towables and that sort of
Okay,
activity on the lake.
thank you. SCAD had provided a report. He did mention in a either text or an email to Carrie and I that calls in the shores have kind of gone up a little bit this year, mostly due to more elderly aspects, falls and whatnot. All right, legislation. Ordinance 2026-02-01, an ordinance authorizing the village administrator to enter into an agreement with Suitcoat Corp. of Meadville, Pennsylvania, in the amount of $63,189.49 for seal coat, fog, seal, and crack fill services for Flame Lake Drive, Morningstar Drive, Beaver Dam Road, and Calendar Road, and not declaring an emergency. It is in its first reading. I'd like to bring up the fact of this project. Steve, you brought up a lot of good points with, why are we breaking it down? Ali, you kind of brought up some good points as well. Mark has been trying to do this for better part of 7 months?
Yeah, since about November.
Okay, so, sorry, 4 months. We really need to get something in place so that we can get a start on spring work and get things scheduled. So if we can help him get this put together so that we can get it moving and instead of holding it up longer than what we already have. We know that things have to be addressed, whether it's doing pavement or doing chip and seal. Those roads that are being scheduled for the spring, something needs to be done regardless. So we really need to get this moving along.
Well, I'm pleased that we're using Suitcoat because that's who the association has used. Only in the last couple of years, when they realized that there were problems, they said, okay, we need somebody who is going to be more of an expert, make some decisions for us, and they have done that. And that's who Mark went to. He asked others, they quoted much higher pricing, even for chip and seal. So I think that we need to get off the dime. And if we need to add any language that says Flame Lake will only be done for X number of feet or a particular stretch, I'm okay with that. But if we don't do this and get on the schedule, we might not get it done this year.
Correct.
And we have things that have to happen in the fall, and we'll be coming back to the same situation.
This does not say that it was chip and seal, it just says seal coat and cracks and it doesn't say chip and seal.
Correct.
For seal coat, fog seal, and crack fill services.
Right. It does not
Does not
say
say-
chip and seal, so those are all things that really need to be done on all of those roads. But
And I might have spoken out
Mark.
of using that term.
Yeah, I'll amend the ordinance to reflect the chip and seal. It should have been on there.
well, I'm bringing that up because
Right.
if you exclude the chip and seal, I think you can get this passed. But if you're gonna chip and seal it, there's people that have questions about that.
If we're gonna chip and seal something, why aren't we spending that money and just paving
Hold on.
as much as we can?
But before you go down the road, but before we have to amend it and go back and forth, this is the exact problem. Mark, does the quote that you received from them include
Yes.
chip and seal?
Yes,
So
and
the
it's,
ordinance includes.
it's been identified
Language
to
of the
council.
Ordinance saying chip and seal or different words, doesn't matter. It matters what the quote says that's attached to that ordinance. Okay, so, I mean, we can change it around and then make it more clear, just to talk about the exact language of it, but if we're required and want me to put in the exact language of the exact quote, then we'll have to re-amend it and bring it all back again, so.
I'm just bringing it up because if it's not chip and seal, it's just doing the crack sealing and a seal, fog seal, then I think this might pass. But if it's the chip and seals in there too, then I know there are people that have questions on that. And I kind of thought that this all should have gone through the Public Works Committee, which is in charge of the roads, before it ever came to us in the first place.
Again,
I agree with you.
that falls into the aspect of, we've asked Mark to do something. He has done that. He brought the information to council. It's now in council's hands to make a decision. Do we want to do this or do we not?
And he is the administrator, and if we don't let the administrator do his job and we all want to do it for him, that's really unfair.
Very.
I have a big issue. The way this is written, I can't support it. Sorry, Mark. Right? This is half of the project. And I take offense to the fact that we are being asked to vote now and again in 2.5 months on an identical ordinance for the second half of the project. Whether or not it's legal, it is unethical. We are misrepresenting ourselves by going twice to our community. They're going to hear that we are spending $63,000 for the roads, and then in 2 months we're going to come back and ask them for another $63,000. Okay? I don't think it should be that way. I think this should be an annualized ordinance, excuse me, an annualized ordinance for the entire project.
It should be in the budget in the future.
It is in the, it is
So
in the
it is in
budget.
the budget.
So let
Okay,
me-
if it's in the budget, then why are we really squabbling?
Why aren't we voting on the whole thing?
So here's the question.
And wait a second, if it is so, we don't have to go to bid. I have a real problem with that.
So if that's what you want to do, then we vote it down and then we will put it out to bid. So one way or another, as a council, you guys need to make a decision as to how we want to proceed and let Mark either go forward or not go forward. So if we go to bid, at that point, now you take the chance of losing Suco as the provider. And it may be the same company that we had just do the boulevard, which did not do a very good job. So we need to think about that as a whole for this project.
So are you saying, Mr. Mayor, that it is okay to break a project in two so we don't have to go to bid as a community? Is that your position?
If it's gonna be better for the community, I would say yes.
So we can actually take a project like Public Works project and split it into 4 segments so we do not have to go to bid.
It happens all the time in Ashtabula County.
So
What Ashtabula County doesn't make it right or ethical.
Okay, so the first of the legal counsel.
And Mark has gone through mapping of it with me. We looked at it routinely and multiple times that it was split into different projects because it includes different roads at different times. If you feel it's unethical, so be it, but your statement tonight, Stephen, I'm gonna say right now is telling me that me, Dwayne and Mark are trying to find a way around open bidding requirements when we are saying that they are 2 separate projects. If they are 2 separate projects at 2 different times, then we are not violating anything. But if you want to take it out to bid, you guys are the ones elected, do it, go out for bid. That's all.
No.
I'm suggesting.
The second project would be the boulevard.
No,
No,
It would be the second
no,
half.
so if I can I talk on it just for a minute? So this has all started in fall of 25. I went out and I wanted to do 2 different projects for the village within our budget. So I identified the roads that needed completed outside of the boulevard, which was done in 25. And I stated that I wanted to do 2 different projects, one in the spring, one in the fall. I proposed a chip and seal, crack seal ordinance for the spring, and I've been trying to get that passed by this council since winter of 25. This all started. I've had so much pushback on that ordinance that now we're entering spring of 26, where I would start the first project itself. Now, to touch on Stephen's part, why it'll look like that is because I've been delayed so much by council on this that the 26 fall project is going to run in conjunction with the spring project if we end up moving forward with that because of how long it's taken. So that project I would be putting in front of council probably in May or June to try to move into the last months of August into September, because you have to do these projects while it's warm out, or you're not going to get good result. So this is not a plan to circumvent the system. This is me using the budget that we have properly, efficiently, and quickly to our standards we need that haven't been done over the years without having to go through a big project every time we want to do something.
So what is the second?
Sure. So the first one is Calendar into
Yeah.
Beaver Dam into Flame Lake. And then the fall project is the remainder of Flame Lake into Morningstar. And that is the last of our roads. And then with the 18-year road project that I sent to you guys in your email, it'll state that every 6 years we'll restart the program from the first year, the boulevard, the second year would be the remainder of the roads.
And I'm confident that if we have an 18-year plan and we get to 4 years and we have to adjust, that's exactly what we do. We either ask you to do it or we work on it together.
But
Right.
have you seen the boulevard after 1 year?
That's why we can't use the same company that we use.
Do you think
in
it's the company or is it the product? Because Roniak's used through the state. I mean, they're used to do state roads. So is it the material we're using?
So the boulevard, there was a different dynamic to the boulevard. So the boulevard was widened by a foot on each side. So that might be some of the areas where you're seeing concern. I've yet to identify and go and look for the specific spots you're talking
I
about.
brought pictures for you guys
Sure.
to see.
But that could be where you're talking about is where we added that extra base for a
So
foot.
We're gonna hold off for a second. I'm gonna ask today that council,
We
council.
have one ordinance in front of us.
council will to vote this down and kill it today. And we will take the project as a whole, Mark, and send it out to bid for the whole project to be done.
Why?
The pushback that is continuing on this project, we'll send it out to bid for the whole project to be done.
Can we work with the engineers to develop a plan that's appropriate for our village?
Again, we're gonna,
We already have-
The engineers were part of this plan.
the engineers did the PCR for what was done. So the ordinance that we're on right now,
So why don't we bring the engineers in that looked over our roads to
Okay.
be part of this plan?
I don't disagree, but right now we have this ordinance in front of us, so it's,
If you want to do that, you're gonna have to open up another task order, which is gonna be tens of thousands of dollars for them to tell you on what you're doing. Yeah. And why waste that money? You have to pay them tens of thousands of dollars to do it. Because it'd be a separate task.
get a motion?
Yeah.
Table. I'll make a motion to table.
A second?
Second to table it.
Why would we table it? Why wouldn't we vote it down?
Nobody made a motion.
I motion to, can we vote on it?
There's a motion to table. So there's a second.
I'll strike my motion if you make, if there's a motion.
I'll make a motion, can we vote for it? I make a motion to vote for it.
We vote.
Can someone second it?
I second.
Thank you, Stephen.
Okay, roll call. Megan Clark,
No.
Bob Cook,
No.
Stephen Kaufman,
No.
Holly Marion,
Yes.
Gary Meehan,
No.
Joyce Mistake.
No.
All right.
Can I make a motion? We involve the,
So you guys just voted down.
I know that you're saying that he's done a lot of work, but I think that the Public Works Committee ought to have some, a little bit of say in this and what's going on. I mean, as far as scheduling and so on and so forth, at least be part of it. I mean, after all, that is part of their committee. Roads up.
Roads is part of the committee. But again, the day-to-day stuff.
We have a meeting supposedly coming up next month.
This is a motion on the floor to refer the matter of
Okay.
the board to the committee that needs a second. If someone wants to.
Anybody second Bob's motion?
Second.
Roll call.
Megan Clark,
That's the motion.
I didn't hear what the motion was, sorry.
For the project to be pushed to the Public Works Committee.
Who Who deals with the roads and
Yes,
does it, then
yes.
yes.
Bob Cook,
Yes.
Stephen Kaufman,
Yes.
Holly Marion,
No, I think this is an administrative function.
Gary Meehan,
Yes.
Joyce Mistake.
Yes.
So March 6th, that'll be part of your discussion. Okay, old business?
I just wanted to, get with you, Mayor, on looking for your guidance going forward with the sponsorship of the EPA grant. Right now, based on, they're still working through the request we made, but I'll talk to you about what we want to do, what's appropriate with village.
Barely hear you, Joyce.
So I will get with you, Mayor, on guidance on going forward with this sponsorship of the EPA grant. Right now, the step that we had laid out is still with the IRA, but when it comes back, we need to ensure or decide or discuss use of resources, yes.
So, you send Dave, send over the MOU? Today, okay. So, yeah, we'll let Chris kind of review that MOU and get back to me and we'll bring everything forward.
Perfect.
Thank you, Joyce. Okay, anything else for old business? Okay, so Joyce and Megan, you have a copy of a road purchase that took place back in 2004. It's a lot of information. I have another copy here, if somebody wants to look at it as well. We'll send out an email for everybody to have it. Basically, it is the road purchase of Morningstar, Calendar, Beaver Dam, Flame Lake, and if you look at the drawing in front of you, there is a portion of Plum Creek that we also own. And that project or that purchase that took place. Currently, the association has been maintaining and taking care of that portion of the road. I don't think anybody up here knew what was actually involved in that purchase, because it was all before our time, except for Bob.
Can I be honest with you? I don't remember that concrete portion.
So, it actually spells it out in the purchase agreement by coordinates. And, so I reached out to Krabs Surveying that did the surveying for the project and asked them for a drawing and layout of all the coordinates. And this is what we have in front of us. So, Leanne, thank you for bringing it to my attention, so that we can address what's actually ours and what's not.
Yeah.
So, Mark, in that project, as we go forward, there's gonna be a portion of Humphrey that will also have to be, to look at.
Okay.
If we have to reach out to Krabs to find out how far that actually goes back, we can do that,
Sure thing.
okay?
Piece of road too.
In the same process, today, just 37 minutes ago, talking to Chief, he just informed me that we actually do own a portion of Rome Rock Creek Road that he's gonna look to get some additional information on. And then we'll talk about it in our next staff meeting to find out exactly what portion of that road actually falls. I believe it's the area between the bird streets.
Be from Rock Creek Terrace to the village limits at, by utility plant.
By the utility plant, okay.
Mr. Mayor, we do own that portion, that we have a agreement with the county and they maintain that stretch of road.
Right. But do we actually have anything stating that we own that and an actual ownership?
I would have to look for that file.
Okay. If you need a resource, perfect person sitting right there.
Right.
To,
Thank you.
one good thing that has definitely come out of the beautification committee that, all on its own, we actually have more roads than we thought we did. So.
I'm reading in there somewhere, it says, at one point it says we own a portion of Knowlton Road too.
Yeah, if you look at the drawing, there's right at the, basically it'd be like the.
Just that little,
Yeah.
okay.
So yeah, absolutely. Which Morgan has been taking care of that. Not that I don't want to take away their ability of helping us, but we've got some responsibility there. So. Now, as far as new business, anything else that we want to talk about other than?
You mentioned Crystal Holcomb. Could we hear about her credentials for planning commission?
She is a off-lake resident. She moved here, what, a year and a half ago? Other than that, just a resident.
And this is for the planning?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Is that going to push them back? I mean, it's been a year. Seems like this is the never ending project. So the roads are, this is even worse.
Yeah. So-
I'm-
That's hard with just three.
Yeah, I know that. I mean, I'm saying it doesn't.
Especially if it's not the same three.
I know. It doesn't prevent them from doing what they need to, but it is hard.
Yeah, the whole group.
So she doesn't have any real estate experience or experience in planning or zoning or something somewhere else where she lived?
I don't believe so, no.
King. Mr. Mayor, I recognize your authority to make the appointment and appreciate it.
The
Could you,
appointment is the mayor's recommendation that council has to ratify the fill and expired term.
Right.
Planning commission is a designation of council.
could you please at least give us some information so that we can do a little thinking about it?
Yeah.
And get back.
Certainly.
And it would only be 2 weeks, but we could.
Certainly.
Okay,
Yeah, most definitely.
thank you. I don't think we need a vote on that, just.
The last thing that I talked about in my mayor's report regarding the future revenue, setting up a committee for that. I do think that Steve, again, great suggestion, to look at what's gonna take place with the possibility of losing property taxes within the village. Is it going to, is the police levy gonna be addressed in that as well? You know, how is this gonna entail us as a village as a whole? And I'd like to get council's take on that as to moving forward with that committee.
We need to be proactive. That's all I can say. We don't start now and this actually happens. We'll only have 3 or 4 months to act on something, and that may not even be enough time to do that, especially if we have to do anything dealing with election. The elections, not. So I'm in favor of you forming a committee, and it can be done by you. It doesn't have to be a vote. It falls into, it's a special committee.
Steve, would you mind being on that committee?
Okay.
Okay.
Teach me to make the recommendation.
And then, obviously, Kevin, you'll be on there. So I'm asking council to reach out to our residents. We only want to take 2 that have extensive experience in financial matters that can work with this group to get ahead, if you will.
Since I'll sort of head council, making recommendations back to me, I'll sort of head it up temporarily until you can form the committee officially. He's not in town here and doesn't know the people, so
Correct.
it's not gonna really help.
Yep.
You're still chairperson.
Mind if I am? So. Okay, and Mark will work out if you can make it, then I won't go. If I can make it, then you can have the right. Makes sense?
Understood.
Okay. All right. Anything else for new business?
The meeting for cemetery board.
Thank you. Yep. So this is basically to, Gary, why don't you go over it?
Okay.
You're
Basically-
person.
The cemetery board is a 3-year appointment. The Rock Creek representative resigned from the committee. And they have to vote on a new member. Now, every council person here gets a chance to vote if they attend the meeting, as does everyone from Rock Creek Village Council and the 3 township trustees, the 3 entities involved in the cemetery board. The meeting will be Thursday, February 26th about 6:20, and it shouldn't take more than 10 or 15 minutes.
Is it a simple majority or do they need a quorum?
It doesn't-
The way I understand it, it's a quorum of who's ever there. How do I explain that, because a lot of times people don't bother to show up for it.
Do you need all 6 of us to
No,
show up to
That
this?
I do know, you do not.
Okay, that's what I was
No.
trying to, it won't impact their ability to elect somebody if they
No.
don't all show up.
You said, the 26th at what time?
At 6:20.
6:20.
So will we hear about this representative ahead of time so that we can ask questions or know about the
They've
person?
never done that in the past. I know that the village is putting up Wendy Sintek, who's a new council person for them,
For Rock Creek.
for Rock Creek. And I can't express my opinion right now.
But that's who they're
That's who
looking at.
they're looking at.
Okay.
Now, I would like to point out that any one of Rock Creek Village council people can say, hey, I want it instead, and then you have to vote on whoever's there. Just like in May, when my position is up, anybody on village council can go in and say, hey, I want to be the one. Not that they would, but because there's a whole lot of physical labor involved sometimes with this job.
Okay.
But I encourage you to, everybody, if you can do it, show up, if for no other reason to attend the meeting and see what happens there.
What time does the meeting start? 6:20 or
Yeah.
6:00?
The meeting is at 6:20, our meeting starts at 6:30. So it's immediately after the vote. I don't necessarily like the system, but that's the way it's been for umpteen many years, so.
All right. Thanks, Gary. Bills for review?
Yeah, no.
Executive session. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Gary and Bob,
Well, give it to Bob and I'll second it.
either one. Okay, roll call?
Megan Clark,
Yes.
Bob Cook.
Yes.
Stephen Kaufman,
Yes.
Holly Meredith,
Yes.
Gary Meehan,
Yes.
Joyce Missett.
Yes.
All right.